Blessed day, everyone. My name is Ken Joel Cadalquiver from 2G Bachelor of Customs and Administrative. So, we are here. I am here to simplify the custom banded warehouses rules under CMO 03-2022. Ang pinaka-importante o ugat nitong is to matandaan natin ang core premises of custom banded warehouses to grant a manufacturer a massive privilege, the right import raw materials, duty-free and tax-free. Kabalikan nito, the manufacturer signs its babinding with the government to use those materials exclusively for products that will be exported. Our goal today is to elaborate to more understand the administrative rules, the documentation process, and the serious consequences if the contract will be broken. So let's dive in or embark the section 2 administrative provision. Transfer of goods. So goods are always verified, and all imported raw materials must undergo a mandatory non-intrusive inspection or X-ray at any port, and then 100 physical check by the assigned custom staff if necessary inside the custom banded warehouses itself. Imagine we import a container of special fabric, the port. It gets X-rayed, but once it arrives at the facility, the custom examiner must physically open or count the rolls before we can move them to our production area. This ensures no item are swapped or smuggled or diverted immediately. So, let's another move on. So, storage period. It's a manufacturing transit hub, not a storage unit for storage period. That will be the understanding of the storage period. Raw materials can only temporarily stay in the custom banded warehouses for a maximum for 1 year. Perishable goods like certain chemicals or food, especially the meats, have a much shorter period, about 3 to 6 months. 3 months for perishable goods. But if you want to extend that, if you want to extend that for the cold storage, it must comply require request, and also another 3 months, so 6 months lahat. For example, if we imported electronics chips in January 2025, they must incorporated into finished product and exported January 2026. If they're sitting on the shelves on January 2nd, the system automatically automatic magbabayad tayo ng mga full duties nito, and also taxes on the chips. We lose the privilege and must pay up kapag i-export. And the other one is the perishable goods. If ganon din sa perishable goods, kapag lumagpas ka ng 6 months, we must pay the full privilege duties kasi wala ka ng privilege to pay. Wala ka ng privilege kasi nag-exceed ka na ng 6 months. So the other one is local sales cap. So this priority, to simplify, export first, local second. The priority of the local sales cap is to export first. It because to e-commerce. So the custom banded warehouses are primarily for export. So if we need to sell finished product locally, we can only do a sum up at maximum of 30% of the total raw materials brought in the year. uh, this requirements payment of all duties and taxes. So the other one is the non-importation of finished goods. So we must add value. We cannot import finished goods simply to store, relabel, or re-export them. This privilege is for manufacturing and creating value in the Philippines. So, para makahabol tayo sa competition for the economically or globalization. So, we can, for practical example, we can import completed toys or other things and just put them in a new box. But we can import finished products to incorporate into a larger or complex drone system that we then export. The product becomes a component of a new finished product. So that will be the exceeding. So let's move on the section 10, 11, 12. So these sections cover the flow of goods documents required at each stage from import to internal use final export. So section 10, lodgement and filing. Importing and receiving. Specific documents use goods declaration for warehousing to the RIOSAT. The purpose of this document is the official document file with the custom declaring the imported raw materials. It serves as a legal basis for the material to be placed under ban. So imagine when 50 tons of plastic pellets arrive, filing the visa is the act that legally places the tax liability on our general warehousing ban. The custom system instantly earmarks the potential duties against our ban limit. So let's move on the section 11. Withdrawal for production. This is for internal use. Requisition slip or similar to internal document. This form details the exact the type of the quantity of raw materials being taken from the secured custom bonded warehouse storage area and transferred to the production floor for manufacturing. So let's have another example. Before the starting production line for a big order circuit boards, custom bonded warehouse manages or custom bonded warehouse manager will find out a requisition slip for example 10,000 microchips. So this slip is countersigned by the custom representatives and its basis for internal inventory control. The electronic record in the automated inventory management system or AIMS that plugs movement of materials from storage to production. The quantity from the requisition slip is immediately deducted from the virtual inventory, confirming those the materials are now consumed in manufacturing cycle. The other one is the section 12, the direct export. So export declaration single or administrative document or EDSAD. The official declaration that the finished product is being permanently shipped out of the country. This is the primary proof of the export used for liquidation. For another example, we finished 5,000 units of air cons or air conditioner. We filed EDSAD 2 days before the vessels. So this is we must file the EDSAD before the vessel leaves, 2 days before the vessel leaves. So, allowing custom time to conduct a final inspection to verify the good match in the declaration. The final one is the final examination report. The report generated by the custom official after the physical inspecting the finished goods prior the loading. The custom officially signing off on this report, certifying the 5,000. So to connect the EDSAD and the final examination report, kani siya. Itong final examination report is generated by the custom officials after physically inspecting the prior loading. For example, to connect the aircons or air condition, certifying the 5,000 air conditioners are indeed ready for export. This signature is critical for the next step, clearing our bond liability. So that will be the smooth transaction that without paying the taxes, because primarily the custom bonded warehouses is for exporting. So the export first, and second is local market. So suspension and closure bonded warehouses. This is for the section 18. This section highlights the two pathways to stop operation or required final actions. These rules will be the sanction, penalties, and also lead to closure the custom bonded warehouses. So suspension, temporary stop. Suspension is warning shot. So the authority to operate can be suspended for serious but often collectible violations, such as repeated failure to file document, major security breaches, or excessive backlogs in liquidations. The custom bonded warehouse cannot imported raw materials. Custom bonded warehouses cannot import new raw materials until the issue is not fixed. For example, if we fail to liquidate 20 shipments in a row, the district collector will suspend our import privilege. We can still operate, but the twist is we cannot bring any new duties or free raw materials until the 20 shipments are not successfully accounted for and cleared. The other one is revocation or cancellation, permanent stop. A cancellation is the ultimate penalty. This is the permanent removal of custom bonded warehouse privilege, usually for severe offenses like fraud, unauthorized diversion of goods, or gross financially insolvency. One of the example, if an investigation finds we secretly sold 50% instead of 30% in the local market or the domestic buyer, the commissioner will revoke the license. This triggers immediately seizure procedure in full tax assessment. This is very large penalty, and also this is most critical and heaviest penalty. The other one is the final closure procedure. Upon the closure, all debt due immediately, regardless whether the closure is voluntary or involuntary. A custom bonded warehouse must undergo a physical check on inventory. All remaining raw materials must be checked, or other finished goods must their duties I must pay duties and taxes immediately. If we decide, for example, sa tinitirhan ko is maraming mga warehouses dito. Dyan lang sa kanto namin is uh, nag nagsarado sila. So if they decide to stop the operation, they must wait for the customs. They will count every last piece of dyan is puro bakal kasi they will check 100 physically the inventory of the steels and other equipments must then write to check the government for the duties and tax owed on those remaining items before the warehouse can't be legally closed at our bond release. So that will be the custom bonded warehouses if they will allow us to closure. So to simplify, or the summary of it is, let's dive into the penalties, violation, compliances. So the primary violation, diversion is this is the diversion of the economic smuggling. For example, the most severe violation is the unauthorized withdrawal or diversion of tax-free goods in the local market. That then the rational way why the government is losing revenue, the custom bonded warehousing is undercutting honestly to the local manufacturers who pay taxes. This violation leads to immediately license or revocation and forfeiture of the goods, just like the suspension according to Section 18. So that will be possibly the cancellation or give a penalty. So the other one is the technical violation. Poor record or keeping costs money. That will be the consistency of failure to liquidate the export shipment based on the approval of FOM, the Formula of Manufacture. It will violate the FOM. So if the records are incomplete, the government cannot verify was used. This will be the thinking of the BOC that you are lying or manipulating the formula, or they will think that you are counterfeited secretly the materials. So they will suspend and resort the outstanding liabilities. That type of ban may lead to fine and temporary suspension. But if you repeated many times, that will be the cause of the revocation. The compliance culture. The compliance is not a suggestion. It's the cause of the privilege. To avoid all penalties, we must maintain robust internal controls, ensure 24/7 CCTV coverage, strictly adhere the 1-year limit, and apply the FIFO. FIFO means first in and first out rule for materials. This is by the keeping a secure, compliant, and well-documented facility, we protect ourselves from penalties and maintain operational stability, and preserve the highly valuable privilege tax-free in importation. However, this is the custom bonded warehouses, the duty-free materials as promised. Document every step with the required forms and liquidate within 30 days of export, and never under circumstances divert good locally without payment. This is the discipline, and also it will help the corruption uh, it will help the corruption dead. These disciplines what sustain our competitive advantage. So this is all. These sections protects us in the local market, and also in our we could makahabol tayo sa takbo ng globalization. This will help us to grow financially, economic. So this is I'm Ken Joel Cadaltiver, and this is my report. Thank you.